Okay, you've got a bunch of looks recorded, and we in fact have a bunch of looks recorded here. So for example, look number 9 appears to be channels 20 through 28 running up to 44%. And you decide, oh, you know what, I want to add in 29 at 44%. All right, 29 at 44, beautiful. Now I want to record it to that submaster. It's entirely possible you have a bunch of things running at the same time and you want to specifically say, okay, that thing has to update into submaster 9 as it turns out. So what we do is we basically run the same feature that we had with queues, and if you hit the update button, it automatically pops onto the command line. Because we're in looks view at the moment, update delta look 1. It's probably selected look 1 because that's what I've got selected up here on this box. So actually let's test that and see what happens. I'm going to select 9 there and go update. Oh look, there you go. So how about that? It actually is drawing its default from where that blue box is sitting. So that's now correct. Yes, I want to update delta look 9. That's exactly what I want to do. So I've updated it by hitting enter, but when I release it, it's gone. Okay. Now this is because part of the process of asserting that submaster is doesn't include that particular update, but you can get it there very quickly just by manipulating the submaster, and it'll pop up. Likewise, doing the same thing in blind. So I'm going to put a bunch of submasters up. Now, the way the broadcast industries tend to work is you have a bunch of submasters working at any particular time, and you might go, you know what, I need to tweak what is in submaster 3. How am I going to do that? All right, we're going to enter blind mode for looks. Same as before, you hit blind mode, and blind just toggles between live and blind. So when I hit the blind mode, in this particular version of the software, it's thrown me back out into queues, but we can get back into looks quite happily. We're in blind mode in looks, and whichever one we select is the one that is shown on the screen to the right. So we go, okay, here it is in look number 3. What I need to do is I just need to take 42 out. 42, we don't want it there, or we actually want it at 80%. All right, so I'll just wheel it down on the wheel and get it to 80%. And we're going to update look 3. Yes, that's correct. Update the delta in look 3. That's exactly what I want it to do. Done. All right, that has been done blind. Out here in the world of live and back into looks, you'll see that that channel is still showing itself to be now I've forgotten which channel it was. Let's have a look. Of course I've got a channel overriding it. There she is. There it was, 42 at 80. Okay, so in order to actually get that to go to 80, I actually had to manipulate the submaster, because the idea of it being in blind is that it's not actually changing what is happening out in the real world, and it won't change until you manipulate it. Okay, if this was at 0 and we drop into blind mode and we have a bit of a look at what's happening in Q3, there he is, and we take 43 to full and we update our same look, jump out of blind mode. As we fade it up, she's there, ready to go. Okay, so it gives you a very powerful and easy to use way of manipulating looks on the fly as you go. Okay, now my particular console, you'll see this thing up on the display up here is starting to populate with with bubbles that have information in them. Now I have 64 faders on my console here, and there are 64 bubbles up here. If you have a VL16, you'll only get 16 bubbles. If you have a palette classic with 32 submasters, you'll only get 32 up here. It will put as many bubbles up there as you have hardware to drive them. Now these bubbles are very handy because they give you just a visual reference for what the levels are at any particular time, and they also in fact give you a virtual fader that you can control if you really want to, alright, as distinct from your main fader. Now that becomes very useful when you're playing in the world of remote control and things like that, because you can't actually reach the physical submaster. But obviously there's a preference. If you can grab the physical submaster, you should probably do it.